Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out the T22 Backpack from Fyro. And this is an interesting video for me to make because I feel like I've gotten to know this bag very well over the past year without having actually been hands-on with it. The reason for that is that Aaron from Nomads Nation took a very interesting approach to the development of this bag as far as providing a behind-the-scenes look at what it actually takes to bring something like this to market. And so it's been interesting to follow the journey. Aaron also got a lot of feedback from his viewers on what features they wanted to see, the aesthetics of the bag, materials, even the brand name. It was a really cool approach. I'm a big fan of the Nomad Nation's channel. I've gotten to know Aaron well. I've been on the podcast a couple of times and we chat quite a bit. And so in the interest of full transparency, I just wanted to share that. I know Aaron well, I'm rooting for him. And I've just been excited to kind of see this bag come to life, go through the development process, because it's something that I honestly just didn't know how much went into building a bag. So big props for that, all on its own. And then, this bag, I've been watching the features, reading a lot of the newsletters and stuff that Aaron has sent out. But, always different to kind of see the bag on a website or in videos versus having to actually get hands-on with it. And that's what we're gonna talk about in this video, is what it's been like to test it so far. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing, as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, the style here is a pretty interesting mix. On the one hand, you have a more tech-focused, kind of modern, sleek bag in the vein of a nomadic or air backpack, but it also has kind of a rugged edge that reminds me more of a boundary supply bag. And so it feels pretty unique, which I like compared to many of the other tech bag silhouettes that are becoming more common on the market these days. It just kind of stands out, which I think is really cool. A lot of the marketing has been focused on the hatch here on the front, and I'll talk more about this later in the video, but from just a design and visual perspective, I think that it was a smart marketing move. I think that it just makes it such a distinct look. When you're staring at the bag from afar, you can definitely tell that it's the Fyro backpack. And I'm guessing this is not going to be for everybody as far as the style, of course, but for the most part, I think that it works well. I think that this is going to be a versatile appearance that I'll feel comfortable taking into the office with me for some meetings, as well as just traveling all over the world. And then as far as the materials, the bag feels very solidly built. This exterior fabric is a 300D polycarbonate Codra nylon. You also have a 600D polycarbonate polyester in certain sections of the bag. So overall, very rugged. This also feels like it's gonna offer a ton of weather resistance. You have, really solid hardware all throughout, Woojin buckles, very premium. It comes in at under 3 pounds, about 2.7 pounds. So it's a good balance on the weight for the functionality that you get as far as not letting the bag get too heavy. And then you also have the really nice aqua guarded zippers on some of the more key compartments, like the laptop area on the front, and then really smooth working reverse coil zippers on the other areas. Continuing along the outside of the bag, there's no built-in external water bottle pocket, so if you just buy the T22 on its own, this is the setup that you're gonna have. Fyro does, however, have a modular approach to water bottle management, and I have to applaud the creativity here, as this is a system that I haven't seen before, and I think it's pretty cool. So they offer these accessories that are sold separately from the bag, and you have one for the right side, one for the left side, and you can attach them to create a really interesting water bottle holder. And so one side attaches to the back via some webbing that you can see inside of this compartment here. And so it's got these attachment points that you can place on the inside to create a secure hold. You can also store the water bottle accessory in here when it's not in use. And then on the front, you have these attachment points that are pretty subtle. I like that they kind of blend in with the bag. And then this section here slides into these pieces pretty simply. And it does take a little bit of practice to get used to aligning everything properly, but as you use it more, this becomes a pretty seamless process for this front portion here. So again, really cool idea. And then this comes over the side to create the actual water bottle pocket. I actually pre-installed one on the other side, just so that you can see what it looks like with this attached. And so it blends in to the side of the bag pretty nicely when it's, attached and in use. And this creates a pretty secure hold for your water bottle. I was able to fit my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler pretty comfortably here. It's not closed on the bottom. You do have kind of this lip that gets created that prevents items from sliding through. And this is something that I'm not worried about my water bottle falling out at all. Very, very secure. I like the flexibility that this provides. And then when you pull it out, it just kind of collapses back in against the bag. And because of this system that I was mentioning earlier, pretty quick to release it when you don't want to have a water bottle pocket anymore. And this actually brings up one of the issues that I have with this system, which is that it covers the zippers. And so if you want to access the expansion zipper or the main compartment, if you want to open it all the way up and you have this attached, it would be impeded. And so, it's just an extra thing that you have to manage. You can loosen it up, put it away. But if you're carrying a water bottle, again, it just becomes more things to think about, which I prefer not to do, and you don't have to worry about with a more built-in solution, but you do get the flexibility of, just having this when you need it. You can add one, you can add two, you can leave them all off if you just don't really like having a water bottle pocket on the side. Another note while we're talking about the sides of the bag is that there are no handles on the side, which isn't a deal breaker, particularly with the orientation of the luggage pass-through that we'll take a look at later. So, I've been content with the handle that's included at the top. I really love the implementation here. You have a very premium feeling material. It's super comfortable. This feels very luxurious, plenty of space, easy to grab. And so again, I haven't really felt the issue of not having these, but I wanted to call it out. I know that's one of the many trade-offs that you kind of have to make when you're designing the bags, particularly in the water bottle area. And then on the branding front, very minimal. You have the Fyro logo here on the front. It's blacked out, so it blends in nicely with the front of the bag. It's kind of off to the side at the bottom, so not super prominent or anything like that. And the last thing that I'll mention while we're on the exterior is how well the bag stands up on its own. And for the most part, this has worked pretty well. Even when the bag is compressed down, I'm able to place it next to me and access the items that I need. Now, it does lean forward a little bit more than I would like, and once you start removing the laptop and the weight starts shifting around, there is the possibility that it could tip forward, and that's less likely if the bag is expanded as you have a wider base, you have more support, but that's one of those things that you'll just have to keep in mind with how you're loading the bag out and when you're placing it down. And I believe that Aaron even talked a little bit about some of the decisions that they had to make to avoid making the bag feel super bulky, but still provide the stability and the materials that would allow it to stand up for the most part on its own. And then as far as the capacity, the bag comes in at about 22 liters and it has the ability to expand to 26 liters. At the 22 liter size, I think it's a great EDC capacity. It's able to hold the items that I normally like to carry with me without feeling overwhelmingly big or bulky. And then when you expand it out to 26 liters, it still doesn't feel huge, but it gives you that extra bit of space if you want to use the bag for minimal travel, or if you have longer days, if you have to carry extra stuff. The 22 liter size is going to be great as a personal item on pretty much any airline. Once you expand it to 26 liters, you might be able to get away with it as a personal item on some of the larger airlines, but it feels like it could get a little bulkier. It's probably going to be an overhead storage bag. Regardless, great for minimal travel. I really like the flexibility of being able to expand it out. And because of the sleeker silhouette that the bag has, it feels like it's just going to be great for navigating crowded areas, jumping onto public transit, just exploring any sort of city that you might be visiting. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. I'm a big fan of the padding that's been used here. It feels super comfortable and soft, almost gel-like, so just a very premium feeling experience. On the inside, you have this soft material. The straps also have a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. You have a nice width on the straps as well, so it's not going to be pinching your neck. Then you have some loops on the strap to allow you to hang your sunglasses or clip on an additional accessory, as well as an adjustable sternum strap with a magnetic buckle. Always a fan of these. And then on the back panel, you have a similar style of padding, which feels fantastic, well distributed all throughout. I've been wearing this with a little bit of heavier weight as I've loaded it out, and I haven't had any issues. I like the elevation that's provided here to give you plenty of airflow while you're walking around. And then you also have a great luggage pass-through that's going to allow you to rest this on a suitcase while traveling to save some weight on your back. And I really love the orientation of this luggage pass-through as it allows the bag to stand up on my suitcase, making it very easy to access my laptop. One last note while we're on the back panel is that you have these two zippers that can work well for either storing the water bottle pockets if you're gonna remove them, and it can also work for just placing items that are a little bit more sensitive. I have a field notes notebook in here, but great spot for a passport, a wallet, or some cash to give you a little bit of protection from pickpockets. Jumping into the organizational options, on the front you have the hatch, and this is one of the marquee features of the bag. It's meant to be the quick access area, and so really interesting design here. You have this magnetic flap at the top that securely attaches and closes automatically. So I think that this is a really cool design. I watched some of the behind the scenes video on all of the design challenges that went into making this work, and I think that in real life it is pretty cool to use. And so this allows you to access this compartment from the top, and you do have some security built in here. You have this snap closure on the zipper, Hypalon zipper pulls here, and a little loop that allows you to provide some theft deterrence so that this can't be opened while you're walking around as easily. And so the hatch covers that. I usually leave it open just because in the area where I'm at, I'm not as concerned with pickpockets and I want to be able to access this more quickly, but nice that you have the option to lock it up if you need to, and then you can reach in and grab something from the top if you want to. And so I have something like my sunglasses here, so I might just reach down and grab it without opening this all the way. And if I do want some extra access, this opens up this compartment so you have more visibility into the organization and space that has been provided here. And I know that part of the idea behind this is that you can also open the zipper without opening the hatch, swing the bag around, and grab items from this section without taking the bag all the way off. I think that that works pretty well. And once you open this up, you can get a better look at the inside, and you have some dimension to this compartment. Now, as with any of these pockets, when there's internal organization and there's space on the front, you have to balance what sorts of items you're going to store where to make sure that you can, kind of use everything without it all getting super squished. And so I like these slip pockets that have been included here. They have enough volume to store something like my sunglasses case, which I have there. This could also be a good spot for a phone, portable battery. Then you have a similar compartment on the other side, and that just has a cable for my tablet and my phone at the moment. And you can see this comes up a decent amount, so even if I didn't want to use those pockets, I'd still be able to place a variety of pouches or other gear here. And then included with the bag, you have this lanyard with a nice clip for your keys. There is also a retractable keychain accessory that is available. You can purchase it separately to give yourself a little bit more flexibility as far as grabbing your keys when you're swinging the bag around. So nice to have that option if you want to have it. And then you have the zippered mesh compartment as well that keeps items near the top. They're a little bit smaller. This pairs nicely when you open it up to be able to reach down and grab something from this section. Really nice elastic material here. At the moment, I just have my AirPods in this pocket, but there was a little bit of leftover space if I wanted to store something else. So in general, I think that the hatch works as advertised. Again, the organization here might not be for everyone. It's going to depend on the types of items that you normally like to access quickly. And it's going to take probably a little getting used to with the zipper and the flap and everything. But overall, I think that it does a good job. I also like that the edges come out enough to really cover this section, as water protection would be one of the things that I would have been concerned about as far as water seeping in potentially. But unless the bag is upside down or something, the materials here and the coverage feel great. Besides the hatch, there's not a ton of external quick access pockets, which is something that I normally like to have. Maybe something near the top or on the sides. Just a little bit more would have been nice if I was jotting down some of my wish list items. But on the back, you do have a dedicated laptop compartment, And you again have these zipper pulls which snap shut around the loops to give you some theft deterrence. So really cool idea there. Built-in security, aqua guarded zipper here on the laptop compartment. And the laptop sleeve here feels fantastic. I think that they really nailed it with this area here. You have a sleeve on the front, which is a good spot for something like a tablet or a folder, extra documentation. And then on the back, you have a laptop sleeve that feels like a premium car for your device. I mean, I saw a lot of the behind the scenes for this as well, but you know, feeling it in real life has been quite the experience. On the back, this material almost feels like a leather. It's just super, super cushy. And then you have good padding on the sleeve. It's suspended off the bottom of the ground. And then when I drop my laptop in there, it just has that Apple-like feeling, I guess is the best way I could describe it. When you open up the iPhone boxes where it just kind of slides out, you have that sort of effect here, which feels fantastic. And you know, your laptop isn't making any sort of solid contact with anything. So it feels very, very protected. My 14-inch MacBook Pro fits in here very comfortably. 15-incher could probably fit. 16 might start to feel a little tight with the zippers. It does feel like the width is there and you do have some space, but you know, that's something you want to keep in mind. And then pulling my device out, now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. This comes up a decent amount, so if you happen to have a thicker device, it should be able to fit in here comfortably. And again, with the amount of padding that's been incorporated here, this material, and the fact that it's suspended, it really feels like my device is gonna be very well protected while I'm on the go. And then the last area that we're gonna be taking a look at is the main compartment. The zipper pulls here also have the snap closure that allows you to attach them to each other to give you some theft deterrence. So love to see that incorporated everywhere throughout the bag. And then you have a zipper that goes all the way down, but this is not a clamshell style bag. It has these gussets here that prevent it from opening all the way, but you still have a nice easy view into the full area of the bag. I've actually come to really like this style of bag, which strikes a good balance of offering this ability to open the bag up. You can stand it up and not have everything spill out. And so it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. So really like that they went with this design here for the main area. And you can see the 22 liters of capacity. Right now the bag is still compressed down. I will expand it out in a little bit, but with this compressed size, it's able to hold my typical everyday carry loadout. I have my Beat Studio headphones. I have a couple of pouches here, the Evergood Civic Access pouch, 1 liter. I have another one of those, the Heritage Edition, my Lockbee Venture pouch, and then my Alpaca Admin pouch at the bottom. All of those items fit in there comfortably. And then you have some organization on the back here, some slip pockets that have, again, this nice material here, and it's able to handle something like my USB-C hub with its cables. So I have the hub in one pocket, the cables in the other, and they're easy to grab when I need them. And then you have a zippered pocket on the other side. So when you're standing the bag up, this is gonna allow you to easily grab some of those smaller things that you don't want falling to the bottom of the bag. You can also see through to what's inside. I have a headlamp here and then my Apple Magic Mouse. Now with the bag emptied out, you can get a better look at the inside. I like the honeycomb pattern on the lining, and then it has an orange colorway that's gonna give you a nice amount of visibility and contrast. I know not everybody is crazy about the internal orange liners. I do like that this one isn't as bright. So, you know, it strikes a good balance and also just feels fairly unique. And then even when the bag compressed down, it does feel like this would be able to handle my typical packing cubes. I could toss in the Peak Design cube and a dop kit, an extra pair of shoes. I'd be able to use this for a weekend trip if I was traveling more minimally, but you do have that ability to expand the bag out. And so it has the zipper, which you can use whenever you need that extra space. And so very simple system here, well integrated. And then you get that extra volume here to 26 liters where, you know, it'll be able to handle my packing cube, some extra gear if I want to use this for even a week of travel. I could use this for. And then also if I have some extra gear, more pouches, more tech stuff, if I'm using it as a camera bag, that expandability just gives you more options, which is always a good thing in my opinion. So overall, I think that this bag has been really great to use, very versatile. I think that the materials feel super premium, and it really nailed down some of the key aspects that I look for in a bag, particularly the comfort with the harness system was just really well done, and then the laptop protection. This has quickly become one of my favorite laptop compartments that I've used. It feels just super, super luxurious and protective for my device, which is one of the things that I'm always most worried about. And then beyond that, you just have a really useful layout and a lot of unique features. And so if you're looking for a tech-focused bag that's gonna be comfortable, that's gonna work well in a lot of different environments, then I think that this is gonna be a really great option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the T22 over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase this on the company site. It's gonna come in at about $269 for the bag on its own. That doesn't include the water bottle holders or the retractable keychain, and that's definitely an investment. To me, it does feel in line with what I would expect for the materials that are used here, the feature set compared to some of the other similar bags in this category. I would say that it would be nice to see the water bottle holders, at least one of them, included at this price point, hopefully in the future as the company scales a little bit more and some of those costs come down. As I think a lot of people are gonna want to have that option included with the bag. And once you start to get close to the $300 price point, that's one of those things that you may expect. Now, of course, in Go Ruck World and things like that, it's not always a given that you get a water bottle pocket, to be fair. So just something to consider, but considering the features, the build quality, it still feels reasonable, in line with many of the other options in this price range. And so as I was testing this out, one of the first bags this made me think of is the Black Ember Citadel R3, which was one of my favorite bags that came out over the past year. I really love the highly weather resistant materials that it has. It also offers a very sleek, kind of modern, techie aesthetic. And it has a really nice clamshell style layout, great laptop protection, comfortable harness system, luggage pass-through, some good quick access pocketing. Like this one, it has kind of the modular style external components. You can adjust the handle, you can add a water bottle holder, I believe that's sold separately as well. It has some compression straps that you can add and remove. So, lots of kind of similarities there. And, I think that they're both gonna be great options. At 25 liters, that is really kind of the sweet spot size for me as far as an all-purpose offering. And then the Citadel, I believe, comes in an 18 or 20 liter size, which is gonna be great if those 25 liters are a little bit too big. So it doesn't have the same flexibility as the Fyro backpack because this is expandable, but it does offer those options depending on the size that you're looking for. And if you're just wanting a bag that's a little bit more minimal, that's gonna offer, best in class weather resistance, and it's just gonna be really great all around, it's gonna be an excellent option to take a look at. Another bag this made me think of is the Boundary Supply Errant Pack, which has been around for a while now, but continues to hold up against many newer releases as far as offering a really great build quality and feature set. It's got an interesting aesthetic that feels pretty rugged and outdoorsy, but still fairly sleek, so it just blends into a lot of different environments nicely. It's got a comfortable harness system. It opens up clamshell style so that you can access everything when you need to, but it's also a top loader. It has a dedicated shoe compartment, which is a feature that I still really enjoy having in a bag. It's got a water bottle pocket, well padded laptop area, good organization, and Boundary Supply, of course, has a great ecosystem of modular accessories. You can pair pouches, camera cubes, and other things with the bag to really just kind of customize it to meet your needs. So if you're looking for something that's gonna offer that level of modularity and just a really great build quality, and those are gonna be some excellent options to take a look at. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Air City Pack Pro 2, which was already one of my favorite tech bags of the past couple of years, but the recently updated version just took things to the next level. You still have Air's really modern, sleek styling, great build quality, super comfortable harness system. I really like the updates that were made to the layout. So you now have dual external water bottle pockets. You have side handles. The luggage pass-through is vertically oriented, so you can access the laptop while it's resting on your suitcase. Clamshell style opening, it comes in at 24 liters approximately, which is just a really great kind of sweet spot for all-purpose usage. And you have a great organizational layout, excellent laptop protection. And so if you're looking for just a tech bag that checks off all the boxes and is gonna offer a great aesthetic, and that's gonna be one of the best options that you can take a look at. With that being said, the T22 holds up very well against all those options. There was definitely a lot of hype and expectations that had built up based off everything that I had seen going into the video and finally getting hands-on with the bag, and I think that it did a great job as far as following through and delivering on the experience that Fyro had set out to do. And so, if you're looking for a flexible backpack that's gonna be tech focused, that's gonna be super comfortable to wear, very solidly built, and offer a unique layout and feature set, I think this is gonna be an excellent option to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the T22 and how it compares to some of the other popular tech and EDC bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.